Yosha maya vidita tattva sabhayam Chitto durukti vishake vikanaya tanma Arvakvatatam ratam manindayapa Krishyatraya sabhagavan prakritena tushye Yaha who some that maya vani vidita tattva avidita tattva without knowing the actual fact. The star, the hidden, Ramayam, the assembly, Chitta was abused, Blukti, unkind word, Vishike, by the arrows of Viganaya, taking no notice of that mom, me, are what downward of the tongue, gliding down to hell. Arhatama, the most respectable, Nindaya, by defamation, apart, saved, risky, change, Atraya, out of compassion, Saha, that Bhagavan, the Lordship, Swakratena, by your own mercy, be satisfied. Translation: I did not know your full glories, for this reason I threw arrows of sharp words at you in the open assembly. Although you did not take them into account, I was going down to hell because of my disobedience to you, for the most respectable personality. But you took compassion upon me and saved me by avoiding punishment. I request that you be pleased by your own mercy, since I cannot satisfy you by my words. I did not know your full glories. For this reason, I threw arrows of sharp words at you in the open assembly, although you did not take them into account. I was going down to hell because of my disobedience to you, who are the most respectable personality. But you took compassion upon me and saved me by avoiding punishment. I request that you be pleased by your own mercy, since I cannot satisfy you by my words. Purport by Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. As usual, a devotee in an adverse condition of life accepts such condition to the mercy of the Lord. Factually, the insulting words used by Dakṣa against Lord Shiva were enough to have him thrown perpetually into hellish life. But Lord Shiva, being kind towards him, awarded him punishment to neutralize the offense. King Dakṣa realized this, and feeling obliged to Lord Shiva's magnanimous behavior, wanted to show his gratitude. Sometimes a father punishes his child, and when the child is grown up and comes to his senses, he understands that the father's punishment was not actually punishment, but mercy. Similarly, Dakṣa appreciated that the punishment offered to him by Lord Shiva was manifestation of Lord Shiva's mercy. That is the symptom of a person making progress on the path of Krishna consciousness. It is said that a devotee in Krishna consciousness never takes any miserable condition of life to their condemnation by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, except the miserable condition of by the grace of the Lord. They think I would have been punished or put into more dangerous condition of life, but due to my past mistakes. But the Lord has protected me, thus I have received only a little punishment as token execution of the law of karma. Thinking of His grace in that way, a devotee always surrenders to the Supreme Personality of Godhead more and more seriously, and is not disturbed by such so-called punishment. Vamajnanatimirandasya vinanam jana shlakaya chakshudan niditame natasme guruve namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Satvitam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadamam Didati Swaparantikam Vandeyam Shri Guru Shri Yudapada Kamalam Gurum Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sakajatam Sargana Raghunatham Vitam Tamsajam Shakritam Sivabuddham Parijanam Seitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shishadam Samsya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagat Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gurangi Radhe Vrindavani Vishavani Radhe Pranamami Hare Vancha Kalpataruhyascha Kripa Sindhuvescha Dhanam Bhavebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namarom Vishnu Vedaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Nirvishesha Gunnavani Vaishkati Visutani Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivastava Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So thank you very much for coming on today, attending our Srimad Bhagavatam class. Fourth Canto, 7th chapter, text 15. So here, Lord Shiva, Dakṣa is worshipping Lord Shiva, asking for forgiveness for what he has done. So that is the mood of a person who has come to senses, someone who is controlled by the senses, then he cannot understand what to do, what not to do. You understand? See, it is very nicely explained here in the Bhagavad Gita. Dhyato vishayam pumsam sangateshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kama krodha vijayate. While contemplating on the objects of the senses, a person develops attachment for them. And from the attachment, lust develops into lust, anger, right? So when a person gets angry, what happens next? Krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vipramaha, smriti brahmsat buddhinaso, buddhinasat pranashati. From anger, complete delusion arises, and from delusion, bewilderment of memory. This is what it is, the point. Right? So when a person is, angry, he becomes bewildered. When he becomes bewildered, memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost. And when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material world. So this is how it happens in the material world. So Dakṣa got carried away because he was very proud, of his position. You can see that. Another thing that happens, due to ignorance, materialistic person does not know anything about his real self-interest. The auspicious path in life is simply bound to material enjoyment by lusty desires, and all his plans are made for this purpose. For temporary sense gratification, such a person creates a society of envy And due to this mentality, he plunges into the ocean of suffering. Such a foolish person does not even know this. So this is what happens when you become bewildered with sense gratification, for temporary sense gratification. He creates a society of envy. This is what happens. Not only bewildered, he starts creating a society of what? You understand? Envy. Oh, he's my friend, he's my enemy, he's this, he's that. You understand? This is how it works. Because you're interested in your sense gratification. Never. See how one thing leads to another thing. So therefore, you see how important it is to control the mind. It is not some whimsical thing. You see here, again, when a person gets bewildered, persons who identify with his body with simply the product of material mind are blinded in their intelligence, thinking in terms of I and mind. Because of the illusion of this I, but that is someone else, they wander in endless darkness. Again, I understand. Follow? Not only that, see here again, failing to conquer this irrepressible enemy, the mind, whose urges are intolerable and torment the heart. Many people completely bewildered and create useless quarrel with others. Thus they conclude that other people are either their friends, their enemies, or parties indifferent to them. So this is how it happens. One thing leads to another thing, to another thing, to another thing. So then they create a society of what? Somebody grouping to here, this group is no group, that group is no group, we are friends, enemies. You see how all this is centered around? When we're not careful, we get into this kind of issues, then we create offenses. Whether you live in the temple or you live outside or live anywhere, you carry with you that what? Mind. So when the mind gets into all these things, perfection, we get into a lot of suffering. That's why even in a bigger scale countries, this is, you can see the whole situation in this country, making friends here, the enemies here. Like this, the war is created. And so many people are hurt and suffering and problems. So Dakṣa also did that. Not that it happened only here in the material world or happening with your family or happening, no. It's also happening where? Even the heavenly planets. You understand? It's happening even in the heavenly. But don't think that in the heavenly planet is all very rosy and nice. No? Even in the heavenly planet, it says here, even the demigods under the control of the modes of material nature. Even in the demigod world, there's no being existing either here or among the demigods in the high planetary system free from these three modes born of material nature. But nobody is, even from, as Krishna also said, I'm sure you know this verse, even in the topmost planet, Abrahma Bhuvana Loka Puna Bhartin Arjuna Mamupeti Tukantaya Puna Janmana. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all places of misery wherein repeated birth and death takes place. But one who attains my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. See that? Huh? 7? 7-3. 11-3-20. can see here, one cannot find permanent happiness even on the heavenly planet. It's one can attain in next life by ritualistic ceremonies and sacrifice. Even in material heaven, the living entity is disturbed by rivalry with his equals and envy of those superior to him. Since one resident in heaven is finished with the exhaustion of pious fruitive activities, the denizens of heaven are afflicted by fear, anticipating the destruction of the heavenly life. Thus they resemble kings who are, though enviously admired by ordinary citizens, are constantly harassed by enemy kings, who will therefore never attain actual happiness. So you see how everywhere this problem. As long as we are in the material world, we are carrying with us this contaminated mind. And because we are having this crazy mind with us, we are going to have more and more and more problems. We cannot have any peace at all. You know, this thing. We quote this many times. Because the mind, the illusory material nature attracts the minute living entity to embrace her. And as a result, he assumes forms composed of her qualities. Subsequently, he loses all his spiritual qualities and must undergo repeated death. See that? Repeated death. Although he is, even, you see, the point here, even though he is spiritually inclined, but because he is associated in Maya, then he not becoming strong, he loses his spiritual quality. You understand? Don't think that, oh, Prabhu, I'm chanting, it's all right, I can, I'm strong. Huh? You associate Maya. You see how? You understand? You accept the quality subtly, you don't know. There's a problem, many of us are associating with a lot of non-devotees day in, day out. Is it not? How many hours? Hours, correct. So then what is the quality you will absorb? You're so powerful, you take their sins. What? You go into that place, you're like what? Paramahamsa. You sanctify the place. Becomes like what? Tirtha stan, is it? You can absorb their qualities. Not only you absorb their quality, you lose your spiritual quality. Two things happen. Understand? You finish, you become spiritual bankrupt. You understand? This is what's going on. And then what is the next thing? Fall down. You understand? Then becomes like Dakṣa, envious. And Lord Shiva is so powerful. He is sitting down and he's thinking of the lotus feet of the Lord. It's not that he was sitting down and thinking of his wife or something. He was meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord. And because he was so much in trance, that verse, Vasudeva, Sattvam, Visuddham, Vasudeva, Saptitam. He's on the transcendental platform. So because he was always meditating on the position of the Lord, Dakṣa was envious and he was cursing him. But you see the mind of Lord Shiva, because he was so focused on the lotus feet of Krishna, what is that? See, the position of Lord Shiva, on the other hand, such a transcendental personality, O soul of the universe, the conditioning of one's personality in material life is very strong. And therefore, it is very difficult even for learned man to tolerate the offenses committed against them by ignorant people. See here this verse. Only your devotees That only your devotees who are fixed in your loving service and who have achieved peace by residing at your lotus feet are able to tolerate such offense. To that point. That unless you become Krishna conscious, unless your mind is attached to the lotus feet of Krishna, there's no question of trying to even tolerate offense. If someone shouted, you always you always retaliate. Who won't retaliate? Correct? But you see, on the other hand, the position of Lord Shiva. So cool. Shouting at him and saying all kind of things. Lord Shiva just kept cool. No. In fact, he walked away quietly. Although his men were cursing and counter-cursing, he just walked away. Cool. Why? Because he's always thinking of the lotus feet. So when we are thinking of the lotus feet of the Lord, or we are Krishna conscious, then you can overcome Krishna's mind. That's why, of course, you know the famous verse, Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita. Unless you surrender to me, Devi Esha Gunamaya Mama Maya Turutyaya, Mam Eva Prapatyante, Maya Me Tuntaranti. This divine energy of mind is consisting of the three mortal materials. It's difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross behind it. That is the point. Unless we become Krishna conscious, we take shelter of Krishna. There's no question of trying to overcome Krishna's mind. It's not possible. In other words, my dear Lord, for one who has been tormented on the terrible path of birth and death, is constantly overwhelmed by the threefold miseries. I do not see any possible shelter other than your two lotus feet, which are just like the refreshing umbrella that falls down showers of delicious sleep. There is no other way. You follow? You cannot try to think that you can overcome Krishna's Maya by your own so-called strength. That is not possible. Even great personalities, Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, so many personalities. This is another verse, right? I think it's 11:5:33, eh? My dear Lord, you are Mahapurusha, the Supreme Personality of God, and I worship your lotus feet, which are the only eternal object of meditation. See that point again? Those feet destroy the embarrassing conditions of material life and freely award the greatest desire of the soul, the attainment of pure love of Godhead. My dear Lord, your lotus feet are the shelter of all holy places and of all saintly authorities in the line of devotion, and are honored by powerful demigods like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. My Lord, you are so kind that you willingly protect all those who simply bow down to you with respect, and thus you mercifully relieve all the distress of your servant. In conclusion, my Lord, your lotus feet are actually the suitable boat for crossing over the ocean of birth and death. Therefore, even Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva seek shelter at your lotus feet. See that? This one verse is enough for the whole class. So you see how relevant it is for us to take shelter of Krishna. We cannot try to wiggle ourselves outside this scope. It's not possible. You can try to do all your other things, your yoga, your meditation, or whatever you try. It will not work. Cannot work. And that's why, the famous verse, 10:31, 32. Correct? You know this verse, right? Persons who falsely under the impression of being liberated without devotional service to the Lord may reach the goal of Brahmajyoti. But because of their impure consciousness and for want of shelter in the Vaikuntha Loka, such so-called liberated persons again fall down into eternity. Yeah? So you cannot try to escape this one point to become Krishna conscious. If you try to think that you can succeed by becoming other than becoming Krishna conscious, then you will say, Parabhavastavat abodhajata. You will fail. You cannot succeed. And that basis is what? The mind. All this thing is happening because of what? Because of the mind. That's why it says in that verse, the mind is the source of this body. This body came because of the what? Mind. And the mind is the only thing who can liberate you or even condition you. That's why Krishna says, mind is the best friend of understand? Only through this mind you can go to God. And you become, here, I show one verse. This verse, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Uddhava, the Supreme Lord gives life to every living being and is situated within the heart along with the life and primal sound vibration. The Lord can be perceived. You see this point here? The point. The Lord can be perceived in a subtle form within the heart by one's mind. You understand this? That you cannot go to God by your leg, your head, your tail, your eyes. Many people are very, very what? They want to see, right? All into the sea. That is not possible. The only way you can actually go to God, Krishna, is by engaging the mind. As he says here, the Lord can be perceived in a subtle form within the heart by once. The Lord is seated where? Where? In the heart. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hirdeshu arjuna. So you want to connect with Him only one way. How? To engage the mind. That's why Krishna said 2 times, not only 2 times, many times in the Gita. Man mana bhava mad bhakta madhyaji mam namaskuro. Yes? Huh? Isn't it? And also in chapter 8, right? What is that? Ananyaya? No. Chapter 8, text 14. What is that? Ananya Setusa. Is that? Ananya Setaha Sitatam Yomam Smarati Nityasaha. When you say Smarati means what? Mind. Tashyam Sulabha Partha Nityuktasha Yoginaha. So you see, one who remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain, O son of Pita, because of his constant engagement in devotion. So again, it's all on based on our conditioning here is the mind. You follow this point? So a lot of emphasis is put on the mind. Our mind has put us into this position. We are now here because of the mind. So we need to understand our greatest enemy is the... You understand? This is the point. So we now have to subdue this mind. And you can only subdue it by taking mercy from the... Without the mercy of the Lord and the spiritual master, you cannot control the mind. It is not possible. I think you know that verse, right? Huh? No, this verse, right? See, in Sanskrit, this verse. Atma Mosam. Atma Mosam means spoiling the Atma, ruining your Atma. You know? The uncontrolled mind is the greatest enemy of the living entity. If one neglects it or gives it a chance, it will grow more and more powerful and become cherished. Although it is not factual, it is very strong. It covers the constitutional position of the soul. Please, okay, please try to conquer this mind by the weapon of service to the lotus feet of the spiritual master and the Supreme Personality of God. Do this with great care. So this is the situation we all are trapped in. And because we are so much mental, the whole situation, the material world, is based on trying to satisfy the desires of the mind. And Krishna also said, the living entity is struggling very hard with this mind. You understand? He never said that you are happy with your mind. Did he say that? Well, what did he say? You what? Huh? Mamavam sujiva loke jiva bhuta sanata manaha shastra indriyani pakritisthana prakritisthana karshati. Suffering. You understand? Nate vidu swartha gati me Vishnu. If it does not know the swartha is Vishnu, then what? Durashaya bhairatamanina. Again. Are you following? So therefore, we have to learn and not repeat these mistakes of Dakṣa. Our system should be to follow this guideline, to come to the level of Lord Shiva. It's not so easy thing that suddenly you can remember the lotus feet of the Lord day and night. It's not some cheap program. That's why we are given very rigid program of worshipping the deities. Why we worship the deities? Because our mind can focus. Why? Because the whole idea is to capture the lotus feet. It's explained here. You see here. Terrified, about to die, a man collapsed on his bed. Though his voice is faltering and he is hardly conscious of what he is saying, if he utters the holy name of the Supreme Lord, he can be freed from the reaction of fruity work and achieve the supreme destination. But, see the word but. But is so important. See that? But, still people in the age of Kali will not worship them. Is that a fact? You see again here. O king, in the age of Kali, people's intelligence will be diverted by atheism. It's a fact. The school is teaching what? Atheism. All school what they're teaching? Atheism. Don't talk about God. Huh? No. We don't want to. Yeah? They tell you. The scientists, what? What God? Please. Don't bring what? Theology in. Everything is taken from God, but don't bring theology. Can you see that rationale? See, it's a fact. Is it? Will be diverted by atheism. And will almost never offer sacrifice to the Supreme Personality of Godhead with the Supreme Spiritual Master. They will never do nothing. Oh God, what? God should give me, I should have given God. Mentality, yes? What is it? God, please, yes, enough. You tell him, please to give me. When you ask him from what? Charity, what is it?
Yeah, actually say that. They say, you ask Krishna to give me, then I will give you. Krishna does not give me, no, I will.
Yeah, so Krishna will stop the air now. Let's say you breathe. Yes? See the mentality. Although the great personalities who control the three worlds all bow down to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, the petty and miserable human beings of this age will not do so. Check. You see this, we are hearing Lord Shiva, how great personality, and our guy said, what? Shiva, what? You follow this point? That this is the consciousness of the people in Kali Yuga. So we should not get into this kind of consciousness. Detrimental. You understand? Our consciousness should be like, go to this angle of vision. What is that? 10, 14, 13 will come. 14, 13 will come. 14, 8. Yeah, see? This is how we should be thinking. This is how we should be trained to think. Tattenukampam, anukampam, susamichamana. Bhojana evatmakritam vipakam, vakubi, vidadhanam namaste, jeveta yo muktipadi, sudaya. My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reaction of his past misdeeds and offering you respectful obeisance with your heart, words and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful king. See? This is how the mind of the devotee should be. That is all right. It's okay. I go improve because I must have done some nonsense. Krishna is trying to, reward me this punishment so that I change. But you cannot think like this if you are not a devotee. It's not possible. If you are non-devotee, what will happen? At a slight moment, quarrel will start. What? Huh? See, devotees think like this. Non-devotees, you see what they think? Non-devotees, they think like this. Failing to conquer the irrepressible enemy, the mind urges are intolerable and torment the heart. Many people complain, begin and create useless quarrel with others. That's what is starting, quarreling. Why? Because they cannot control. Whereas a devotee is different. You see how anything happens, you start thinking, no, it's my fault. I'm suffering because of something I must have done. See how devotees, different way of thinking. Non-devotees how they think, devotees how they think. If you associate with non-devotees, they're always bickering, quarreling and fighting. Yes. And that disease will breathe into us. So we also will start fighting at a small notice. This is Kali Yuga, it says that, they will fight even for a few coins. Yes? A few coins will fight each other. Symptom of Kali Yuga. So therefore we have to take up this program very seriously. Our Krishna consciousness is the only hope. Can you tell me anything else than that? Do you have anything else that can control the mind? Any program? What? You have? No. What program you have to control the mind? No?
There is in the fair, just when there is a philosophy that says, there is philosophy that says self-love. So suppose I do something wrong, just as if you love somebody, if he does something wrong, you forgive him. So you self-love. You do something wrong, you just forgive yourself.
This is the philosophy here. But it cannot be artificially done. It's not possible.
You should love yourself. You forgive yourself.
That's what is also the Buddhist philosophy, that you do not do to others what will hurt you. See? So, yes, that philosophy is good. But how many of us can practice this? Because, as I already pointed out, that the mind is not something that you can control like that. Ideally, yes, but unless you take help from the Lord, then you can have this called self-love or whatever.
No, they don't accept. Like a devotee will say that if I did something wrong, or if something bad happens, he thinks I did wrong. But this philosophy says, no, don't become depressed by thinking that you're wrong. Just forgive yourself, just pamper yourself. That kind of philosophy.
No, that is bogus. That is bogus.
They say you just love yourself, right? Forgive yourself. Don't. In that way, nobody learns anything. Yeah, you spoke that.
You see here, due to ignorance, the materialistic person does not know anything about himself. First, his real self. He doesn't know. Understand? So his interest is only for self-gratification, the auspicious part in life. Because you don't know. Understand? They simply bound to material enjoyment by lasting desire. So this is exactly what he's going through. And all his plans are made for this purpose only. Then what happens? For temporary sense gratification, such person creates a society of envy. And due to this mentality, it plunges into the ocean of suffering. Such a foolish person does not even know about it. This is exactly you're saying self-love. He doesn't know what is it. He doesn't know he is not the body. He doesn't know that actually he is servant of God. He doesn't know. So where he can, how self-love will come? Self-love means for self-gratification. And that's all it is. And you see, once you put self-gratification, then you create a society of envy. So you cannot overcome Shastra. That's not possible. So how to, no, I forgive myself. You're already envious. Yes. You cannot. This is not possible. Unless you understand the Lord is sitting in your heart, that's not possible for you to give up this envy. There's a verse also like this. I think it's in, yeah, what is that? You know? 11. I think it's 11. 11:29, I think. 11:29. $11.29? 16, huh? All right. For him who constantly meditates upon my presence within all persons, the bad tendency of rivalry, envy, abusiveness, along with false ego, very quickly. In other words, if you don't meditate on the Lord, these are the qualities you will acquire. Unless one who understands the position of Krishna. So this is actually the ideal situation. In other words, becoming Krishna consciousness only promotes you into this position of what? Self-love means not just self-love. Self-love means, loving all others also. Because self-love means to love the Lord in your heart. You understand this point? That is also explained here in this verse. It is 11. It's 2 times this verse is explained. Where one, 2, 1, 2 was that? Diyate 1 to 21. So in this verse, no, not this one. 21.
Not Upanishad, not Katha.
Oh. Yes. This verse. Thus the knot in the heart is pierced and all misgivings are cut to pieces, the chain of fruitive action terminated and one sees the self as the master. Right? Here in this verse, yeah, 11:3, I think. 11:3. Yeah. It's the same thing. Vidyate hridaya granti chidyante sarva samsaya, same word, except that the last thing is it. And not in the heart is pierced, all misgivings are cut to pieces and change of fruitive activity is terminated when I am seen as the Supreme Personality of God. In other words, although you see yourself as a living entity, as a master, but understanding that servant of Krishna. So when we can see that way, then yes, just like Lord Shiva is always, although it's such a great personality, is always seeing himself as subordinate to Krishna. Understand? He's always meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord. So therefore, Maya cannot what? Touch him. Maya cannot what? The influence of material nature cannot harm an enlightened soul. Even though he engages in material activities, because he knows the truth of the Absolute and his mind is fixed on the Supreme Personality of God. So Maya cannot harm what? Great, it's not possible. This is the problem. Sometimes they say that someone is a guru, and then he fell down. So how you can fall? Another verse. Let's see here. One who has taken exclusive shelter of the Supreme Lord Vasudeva becomes free from fruitive activities which are based on material lusts. In fact, one who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord is free from even the desire to enjoy material sense gratification. Plans for enjoying sex life, social prestige and money cannot develop within his mind. Thus is considered Bhagavatam, a pure devotee of the Lord on the highest level. See this point? He cannot even enter his mind what to speak. See? There's no question. Maya cannot even what? Touch him. So therefore, the position of Lord Shiva, exalted position, and Dakṣa Prajapati, although he is son of Brahma, his position, are two different. Of course, the moral of the whole thing is that Dakṣa went through this thing so that he would come to his consciousness. Punishment is also good. It is not the punishment is bad, especially when you are punished by great personalities. It's a big blessing actually. The same point was also spoken by Narada, Lord Krishna, when he delivered the two sons of Manigreva and Nalagrava. They were cursed to become trees. But although they were cursed to become trees, it was blessing that they saw Krishna. See? So see how always you get any curse from the devotee or any chastisement is only for your good. Sometimes they think that the devotee chastised, oh, this devotee is very bad, he's always, and it have this problem. But no, because anything in the spiritual line is only what? Good. Cannot be bad. Because spirit is all good. Spiritual thing is all. Always God is all. There can be any bad in God? Can. Can. That's why this verse here. This Upanishad. Huh? Mantra. This verse here. Shuddham apapaviddham. See that word? Apapaviddham. Apapaviddham means nothing can contaminate them. Another meaning also is that wherever they go, they purify everything. So if you go to a devotee, a saintly personality, whatever negative it seems, but in the end it will turn out only positive. They may shout, they may correct, but it's only for the better. So, but when a person like Dakṣa, initially he was covered by illusion. He did not know what actually, Lord Shiva, oh, he cut my head, he abused so many things. But when he came to his senses, then he realized, oh, yeah, I made a mistake. See? I made a mistake. I'm sorry. And forgive me. See? So this humility is very much required because that is for progress. If a person is clouded by false ego, then there's nothing can save him. There's no way he can get saved by false. False ego will dilute his consciousness and he becomes disturbed. Does not know what to do, what not to do, like the demon. They do not know what to do, what not to do. They will simply do things where it's distraction of everything. Yes. So, is it clear? Clear? Not clear? What? Not clear. Clear. Right. So, any questions? Yeah, see, the Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has given us a formula that before you go to bed, you beat your mind with a broomstick, and then when you wake up, again you must beat with the slippers, both 100 times. Of course, I don't know how you can capture your mind to beat anyway, but this is to make you understand the problem is the. So we are always in the mental plane. That's our problem. Always what? Confiding with our mind. Oh, discussing, arranging, talking, all with the devotees, they don't want to go to that level. They want to go above that. They want to what? Discuss what? With the scriptures. They want to discuss with the devotees. They want to take direction from the spiritual master. So that way they control the mind. But if you try to take your mind in confidence, then you're only going to be cheated. That's all. Yeah. My dear king, you have spoken correctly. However, after capturing animals, the cunning hunter does not put faith in them, or they might run away. Similarly, those who are advanced in spiritual life do not put faith in the mind. Indeed, they always remain vigilant and watch the mind's action. All learned scholars have given their opinion. The mind is by nature very restless and should not make friends with it. You see that? If we place full confidence in the mind, it may cheat us at any moment. When Lord Shiva became agitated upon seeing the Mohini form of Lord Krishna, and Sabari Muni also fell down from the mature stage of yogic perfection. In other words, the mind is like an impetus. What's the meaning of impetus? Horse that even persons who have regulated their senses and breath cannot control. Those in this world who try to contain the uncontrolled mind but who abandon the feet of the spiritual master encounter hundreds of obstacles in the cultivation of various distressful practices. O unborn Lord, they are like merchants on a boat and the ocean will fail to employ a handsman. See that? Nevertheless, until by firmly practicing devotional service to me, one who has completely eliminated from his mind all contamination of material passion, one must very carefully avoid the association with the more material modes, which are produced by my illusory energy. You know, this is spoken by Lord Krishna. Just as an improperly treated disease reoccurs and gives repeated distress to the patient, the mind that is not completely purified of its perverted tendency will remain attached to the material things and repeatedly torment the imperfect view. You understand this point? So that's why Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, beat your mind. Don't go and beat another person's mind, beat your mind. You understand? Because our mind is the cause of all problems. That's why association of devotees is very important. In fact, one of the important quality of making spiritual advancement is this. Six, five, 4. Yes. Yes. Offering gifts in charity, accepting charitable gifts, revealing one's mind in confidence, inquiring confidentially. These are the two underlying factors about how to deal with that. Revealing your, I've seen I've trained people, those who don't come and talk to the devotees, always, hiding away, keeping themselves. I find that they don't make it. They don't make the grade. But someone who's revealing the mind, talking to the Prabhu, I think that no, and they are usually the ones who are safe. It's a very important point. Sometimes they are so, I think I shouldn't, say all these things, I want to keep it. As they say, no, you keep and keep, what happens? It explodes. He gets depressed, right? Then he jump down, suicide, whatever. So two things are there, revealing the mind and also inquiring confidentially. The two. This is how we can, and then, you see, accepting prasad and offering prasad. Is accepting prasad means, and offering prasad, that's serving. That's the two things are there. Service is also there, because you have to go down to serve, exchanging gifts, giving something, taking something. So these are all symptoms of how to be saved from the attack of the mind. It's a science, to learn how to capture the mind is not some joke. It's a science. And how many chapters are speaking about this? How many chapters? In fact, Krishna has warned, if somebody's mind is not straight, don't talk to him. Remember? Krishna said, don't talk to him about all this. Why? Because he cannot understand. This knowledge cannot be given to people who are hypocritical, envious. They cannot come. You follow this point? Not that it's freely given. Because people who have got such mentality, they will reject this. They will not accept. Follow. So anyway, this is the important point. That's why morning, we are waking up in the morning, especially Brahma Muhurtam time, we are chanting, we are worshipping a deity. That is not for fun. We are not doing something for fun. The whole idea is to what? Purify the contaminated. And if we don't want to do this, then we will be attacked by all this subtle influence, bad qualities, one thing after one thing after one thing, and before you know it, you'll be just like anybody outside. You know what I mean? The symptom will be there. How? Symptom will there, you'll be finding fault with the devotee. That's the symptom. Going to find fault with the devotees means symptom. Because finding fault outside is what? What's that? Huh? So that here. Insult, fault finding, deception, and bricks. Then who? Oh, the one who helped you, rascal, this devotee, crazy, this, that. So many offenses. And when you offend great personalities, what happens? What is that verse? 10? 4. 40? They think all this is fun, I can say anything I like. My dear king, when a person prosecutes great soul, all his benediction of longevity, beauty, fame, religion, blessing, promotion, and heaven, the higher plan, all be finished. Stop. Yeah, and anyway, devotees are higher. They are given their lives, yes. They're dedicated, yes. Maybe they have got some bad quality, whatever. We shouldn't overlook that. Devotees very dear to Krishna. That is offensive. The whole idea of devotee means association. Where is the word saying devotee? I don't want to offend them, I don't associate. Where is that? That's how the mind is tricking you. Because whole idea of controlling the mind is association of devotees. Yes? So the mind is saying, no, they are great, I don't want to associate. Then you must associate somebody. If you don't associate devotees, you associate with who? Who? Maya. And you associate Maya, what do you get? I already showed you. Right? In other words, I'll show you again. What happens when you associate with the mind? My dear Supreme Personal, the Supreme Personal regarded said, my dear Uddhava, a person bereft of intelligence first falsely identifies himself with the physical body and the mind. When such false knowledge arises within one consciousness, material passion, the cause of great suffering, pervades the mind, which is by nature situated in goodness. And the mind, contaminated by passion, becomes absorbed, making and changing many plans of material advancement. Thus, by constantly thinking of the modes of material nature, a foolish person is afflicted with unbearable material desires. So when he gets into this kind of position, then you see what happens. One who does not control the material senses, comes under the control of material desires and is thus bewildered by strong waves of mode of passion. Such a person executes material activities, although clearly seeing that the result of the future unhappiness. The only way he can get himself saved is go to the devotees. There is no other way. So explain here. My dear Uddhava, I am personally the ultimate shelter and way of life for saintly liberated person. And thus, if one does not engage in my loving devotional service, which is made possible by associating with my devotees, then for all practical purpose, one possesses no effective means for escaping from material. So they may say, because mentally, the mind is always trying to escape. You understand? There is no other way. There is no other way. Huh? 11, 26. Yeah, I put that verse. What? 11, 26. What is it? She would ever said, my dear Lord of Supreme Personality of Godhead, what type of person do you consider to be a true devotee and what type of devotional service is approved? No, this was 11? Oh, 26. Actually, in the third canto also that, same thing. Satam prasanga mama vega samvido. An intelligent person should therefore reject all bad association and instead take up the association of saintly devotees, whose words cut off the excessive attachment of one's. Yeah, another one also is there, you can see here. O my mother, O virtuous lady, these are all qualities of great devotees who are free from all attachment. You must seek the attachment to such holy man, for this counteract the pernicious effect of material attachment. What is pernicious?
Detrimental. Imperceptibly detrimental.
Imperceptibly. That means it doesn't have any good. Right?
Because when you're doing it, it's not very evident that it's wrong.
Association of devotees doesn't mean that anyone who is just chanting Hare Krishna. What is this association? Suppose I open one temple and that's it, I start some little program. Then I don't do morning program, I do whatever I like. Is that association? Association is who? What is the definition of a devotee means? You say devotee. Can anybody is a devotee? Who is a devotee? Like simple example, right? Let's say there's a part-time doctor and a full-time doctor, and you had a serious heart problem. Would you like to get you operated by the part-time doctor? Would you want to do that? Would you go where? You check the credential of the doctor, isn't it? What is the guy? How many years experience? What did you? How many cases he has done? How many people he has killed? you want to know the history, is it not? Same way with devotees. So you have to go to who? Someone is what? Someone is what? Huh? Who? Or twice born sages, by serving those devotees who are completely free from all wants. Great service is done. By such service, one gains affinity for hearing the message of Vasudeva. Two things. If you know you are associating with such devotees, that association should bring about what? Intense desire for hearing about Krishna. That must come about. But you serve some devotee, you're going, years and years you're going, and they don't even teach you how to chant Hare Krishna. What?
No, they sometimes teach to chant Hare Krishna, but still, there's no visible detachment.
Nothing. Chalta hai, they say in Hindi. What is? Everything okay? Everything all right. Understand? You have to associate with devotees who are what? Strictly following this thing. If you follow somebody who is not strictly, then you will also develop their habits. Yes? Suppose you go to some place where they don't have morning program, nothing and all that. Then how? Will you have a morning program? You will do? Yes or not? If you associate devotees who are eating anywhere and everywhere, what will be your habit? Huh? You will also do? Anywhere, everywhere? Yes? Contaminate? Association. Karana, Gunasangosya, Sat, Asat, Yoni, then Asat. So we have to be very careful where we take the association, who we take association, whether the person is what? Properly following the guidelines given, instruction by the spiritual master. We cannot try to follow according to, again, our mental convenience. That cannot, Shastra never say you accept your direction of your what? Dictation of your what? Why?
You were showing some verses that about serious devotion service.
Yeah. Huh? Where is the book?
You were showing seriously, I mean, two series of verses. Seriously. Showing two intensely.
Atmarama Munayo Nagranta. What is that verse? To what? Atmarama Munayo Nagranta.
119.
Alright, I'm running low on my batteries. Looks like my computer also is giving up on me. One? What?
119.
Not this verse. What is the verse to be? All different varieties of Atmarama, those who take pleasure in Atma or spirit self, especially those who are part of self-realization. This is not the verse. What verse is giving? This is not this. Not this one. This. Dakṣa Dāna Mulayo. Yeah. The seriously inquisitive student or sage, well equipped with knowledge and detachment, realize the absolute truth by rendering devotional service in terms of what he has heard from the Vedanta Sutra. So one has to become a serious student. Seriously inquisitive student. It is not meant for the was what? Huh? The one is passing time, wasting time. No, it doesn't work. Alright? I think there are some more verses, but I remember them for now. Huh? 3. Supreme Personality of Godhead say one can get liberation by seriously discharging devotional service unto me and thereby hearing for a long time about me or from me. By thus executing one's prescribed duties, there will be no reaction and one will be free from the contamination of matter. In the next verse. Devotional service is to be performed strongly in perfect knowledge with transcendental vision. One must be strongly renounced and must engage in austerity and perform mystic yoga in order to firmly fix himself absorption. This is cannot just space out it. Then you just simply relax, then Maya will come inside. That's it. Alright, getting late. Next verse. The influence of material nature has covered the living entity and thus it is as if the living entity is always in blazing fire. But by the process of seriously discharging devotional service, the influence can be removed just as wooden sticks which curse fire themselves consume. So again, serious. There is no shortcut. If you want to do shortcut, then you can join the ISKCON camp. A lot of shortcuts. Mangalati once a week. You can eat outside. What? Do every life. Just get endorsement from the Guru. Bona fide, Prabhu. Mushrooms is bona fide because my Guru Maharaj said it. One Guru Maharaj said mushrooms is okay for Chinese. Bona fide. And after some time he said, no, now you stop mushrooms. That's all kind of nonsense. Alright, I'm going to stop here because my thing is running out.